Hello, everyone. It's Asia Andromeda, founder of Multidimensional U. And I have been surprised this morning at how much excitement we have to be launching the very first episode of our new show, Beyond Conscious, Becoming Multidimensional. So welcome to this first ever live broadcast. I'll give you a little context here in a minute. But this will, at least initially, be going twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month. So that's today, obviously, March 10th. And then the next one will be March 24th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. All right, so a little context for this show. Last year in 2019, I received the divine directive to launch what was kind of like coffee talk. Let's sit down and I will show up on some sort of regular basis and start having conversation that goes beyond this dimension. And so over time, I see, featured guests being aspects of my own multidimensional self in different star systems and different dimensions on this planet. And then, beyond that, I channel a little background about me. Maybe this is the first time you're encountering me and Multidimensional U, my company, which has its own field of consciousness. So I've been following divine directives in a tremendously fast and rapid awakening process that began with the passing of my father in 2009. And I worked as a spirit medium, and then it moved into channeling spirit guides. And then in 2016, I was contacted by spiritually advanced off-planet galactic civilization. Some of you may be familiar with the Arcturians, and it's just keeps going, right? And what we're being called to do here in this format, I launched a metaphysical coaching company and have been running something called the Emergence Experience for the last 5 years, helping the planet's starseed wayshowers in their awakening journey, really begin to remember who they are, disentangle from, the density here, and reactivate this incredible, beautiful, multidimensional self and these incredible, abilities that come with that and perspectives. And then I'm sure, like many of you have experienced, as we went through kind of this reset over the winter solstice in early January, we're in a different timeline now here in 2020, and we are now all stepping into this next octave of our embodiment. We're being called to step into the next level of our service work on the planet. So whether you are a child psychiatrist, evolving your practice to include more shamanic work, or you're a bartender at a nightclub in Las Vegas, impacting thousands of people nightly with your incredible high vibrational light quotient field. Those are actually some of my real clients, past and current. I just want everyone to feel loved, seen, heard, validated on their journey here. No two assignments will look alike. In fact, what I'm being told now, a lot of this broadcast is going to be a lot of just live channeled information, encouragement, energy transmissions, is that you are not meant to look like anyone else. You're not meant to conform. I'm pulling a lot of conformity and it's like the conformity insert almost is what it seems like in people's bioenergy fields. You are really meant to be stepping into your unique, beautiful expression of who you are in all of your incredible complexity. And so we just aren't meant to be like cookie cutters looking the same way, right? And there's a very large, diverse human population that many of whom are not actively seeking any assistance and getting out of all the muck and the fear. And so wherever you happen to be, both maybe professionally and also informally, the way you show up in the world, right? This is what's being called forward from us now. And this is why this show is being summoned forward from my field now, is to really serve all of you and give you the underlying foundational support you need to go out into the world and really show up as your full, beautiful, multidimensional self without, being an apologist for your multidimensional perception. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. They're like, yep, moving right along. So that's right off the top. That's a little bit about me. There's more I'll share over time. My family and I have just really shifted out of any sort of conventional, the remnants of conventional 3D living, including with our 13-year-old daughter's school. So that'll be a fun topic. I know that's yeah, I can feel the whole field respond to that. We'll definitely dedicate several episodes just to talking about the evolution of education right now. So this container of this show is really meant to provide you with it's inner tech transfer. That's what we're doing now. So we don't need to wait for the Arcturians or other off-planet civilizations to come save us. It's a matter of waking back up, reactivating this incredible divine instrument so that we can do our own tech transfer from within. What do I mean by that? I think a lot of you already get this. Quick story. In 2014, I got a sudden urge, overwhelming urge, to go back to France. I had lived there as a teenager. I had studied French in college, so I studied abroad. I dated a French man for a while, so I was there a lot. And it had been about a 10-year gap. And I just thought it was nostalgia. I just miss it. I just need to go back. My daughter was quite young. Financially, I was like, this maybe not the best decision, but it was so overwhelming that I had to respond. I gave myself permission to say yes, and I did. And I traveled by myself to France, and I thought, I'll go anywhere I want. And the map, it was like my attention got drawn to the far west of the Brittany province, to a place called Finistère. It was actually a place I had never been to in this lifetime. And I thought I was just sightseeing. Towards the end of the trip, I ended up on the top of Ménéhomme, this powerful sacred mountain. And I had a spontaneous past life regression. And it was like being in two realities simultaneously, right? So here I was, and I could feel this body alone on the mountaintop, nobody else around. Blustery, kind of cloudy day. And then superimposed almost on that reality was this man that I used to be, a Celtic priest, some 6,000 years ago, standing on the hill, addressing a huge crowd of people, and I could hear all of them. And the energy was so overwhelming, I literally fell to my knees, and then everything kind of quieted down, and I wobbled back down the mountain, and I drove home, and I got back to, I was living in Boise, Idaho at the time, and I went for my normal hike, walk in the foothills, and all of a sudden the element of air was initiating me, and Brother Hawk was taking me under his wing, and my whole perception and sense of dimensional abilities had just shifted because of that. So that's what I mean by inner tech transfer, a galactivation, a merger, any sort of activation or codes being downloaded. This is the remembering that we're in, right? So there's awakening / remembering. We're really talking about the same thing. It's just the dimensional perspective that defines the word that we use. So from third dimensional perspective, we're awakening. From a higher dimensional perspective, we're remembering. There's so many fun paradoxes in the multidimensional journey like that. Let's see, what else is this? Oh, yeah, I touched on this earlier. This platform is all about reducing your sense of isolation. Everybody already thinks I'm crazy. My family thinks I'm crazy. These people, I can't say that. No, here, there is no outer margin here. We'll just keep expanding. You can't be too weird in this container. So welcome home. The other thing that this platform is meant to do is to really increase collaboration among the starseed and human populations, and then also with our multidimensional aspects and with off-planet civilizations from which we came. We've spent a lot of time in those civilizations. I particularly resonate, and my touchstone is the Andromeda galaxy, right? So when I say I come from a galaxy far, far away, I mean it. And what does that say? It's not to say that I don't have a human form and I don't identify in some way as human. It just is that my soul, right, the starseed soul, is coming from systems of civilizations with a greater degree of unity and a higher degree of functioning. meaning no war, conflict that involves, harming or homicide of others. And we are interested in lending our ascension expertise in response to a human population that has very clearly decided for itself that is interested in evolving, right? And this is just part of that beautiful multidimensional codex that we explore of the descension cycle down into density and distortion and ascension back on out and up and right. It's like, wow, this has been here all along. So it's not outside of ourselves. It's all right here. So why the title Beyond Conscious, Becoming Multidimensional? There's some amazing, amazing way showers that have brought self-awareness to the forefront, really helping people remember, wait a minute, I'm a conscious being. I can become more self-aware. I can become more mindful, less conditioned and programmed. And that's been an incredibly important foundation in order to now be able to make the next leap in our evolution into remembering our multidimensionality. In truth, we're not becoming multidimensional. We've always been multidimensional. It's just that we're able to integrate that with our conscious experience and become much more creative and powerful co-creators, right? Reclaiming that understanding that we are the fabric of reality and we can mold, shift, and change that. Yes. Okay, so that was, I just wanted to cover some of that up front so you understand what is this show even about? And then we're gonna turn it over from the 0 point, moving into the tri-wave, connecting in, and just allow, I may be channeling your higher selves, those of you listening, maybe allowing those interdimensional friends who have a voice but no platform within the human population to step forward. And certainly there's lots of encouragement and inspiration that's going to come through for you all. That's the dominant message. This isn't, just an entertainment show as much as it is an inspiration and encouragement container for you to receive the kind of validation, and not just spoken. They're showing me, I can feel it. You maybe can feel it coming through the screen. The energetic validation you need in order to really solidify this next level of your embodiment, which goes far beyond the cerebral processor and is back into this expansive, not just an open heart chakra, but a planet-wide, enormous heart chakra that can hold so much and create so much at this time. Haha, I see why I was talking about that. So I'm about to show you the card I pulled for this first episode, and it is from the Rumi deck. And of course, it's the Cosmic Heart. So if you're familiar with the Rumi deck, the Oracle deck, there it is. If you're wondering what my stone is, that's tanzanite. When Nikola Tesla got a hold of me a couple of years ago to really help me understand you need to really show up for the star kids and start talking about the star kids and validate them, he suggested tanzanite. And then this ring is kind of a whole nother story from Sedona and my commitment to all of you star kids, right? Of any age, frankly, but especially those of you who are, let's say, under 20 and just need some adults who understand you, get you, and aren't going to ask you to shut down your perception in order to make others feel comfortable about their worldview. So this card is beautiful, and I'll just share a little bit here. You have been through tantalizing trials, the push to surrender fear, the realization your attempts at control amount to not so much. Actually, so why not abandon them altogether? The trials have asked you to confront every part of your being that holds itself back in resistance to what is, in resistance to what life presents at this very moment, right? So living from the 0 point is very different than living from the past or the future. And in fact, the future is actually still your past. You're not really creating anything new when you think about the future because you're drawing upon your archive of your past. That's not very fun, is it? When you drop into the 0 point and you move out of linear time, you're tapping the unified field with your structure, and you're able to bring through whole new systems of thought. I was about to say solutions to complex problems, but what they're showing me is that when you operate at this level, you can actually dissolve issues and you don't need to present solutions. Very, very different way to operate in this reality. You have, the card continues, you have been asked to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing and to understand you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace. Again, the 0 point you drop into here, you don't need to define, know what's coming ahead. You're available for what wants to emerge now and now and now. And having lived this way mainly in my professional life, which has informed my personal life, working with clients, going in and channeling their guides, turning myself over to an instrument of divine service, I have seen repeatedly the brilliance, the higher intelligence and orchestration at work, bringing understanding together in ways that my pea brain could never have manufactured. So I hope that as this show continues and you all engage with me here, with yourself here more deeply, you'll begin to appreciate yourself and be in awe of just who you are and what you're capable of. Moving out of that small, contracted, self-critical, false self-construct, the internalized skeptic and criticism programs. You have been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. Anyone besides me go through darkness of the soul? Ooh. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when your mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucinations of fear. Is there a little bit of fear running around in the human collective on this planet right now? They were so powerful, you were certain that they must be real, that you must be crazy not to run and hide somehow, somewhere. And yet here you are, still loving, still wise, and ready for a love bigger than you have ever experienced before. So we step forward together, you and I. I link my arm through yours and I urge you on. Let us run together and jump over the edge, right? Into that abyss of the unknown, trusting our greater selves at this point. We will weep crystal clear tears and we will laugh with such joy that stars will burst forth, borne upon our exhalations. We will hear the beating of the cosmic heart pounding in our ears and how we shall dance to it. More love is rushing towards you like a great cosmic tsunami. There's an activation. You can feel that coming through the field, can't you? This is our own higher dimensional selves responding to the call of our lower dimensional selves and our human brothers and sisters and all life and form on this planet. You will struggle with this blessing to the extent to which you attempt to hold on to what was. So don't let go. Let it move you. You might get some water up your nose, but it won't be anything you can't handle. Right now, we're moving so fast with this cosmic tsunami of our own higher dimensional love and support that for me, I feel as though my body has a little bit of whiplash because the identity personality construct isn't used to so much radical change so quickly. So I just want to validate those of you who might be feeling a little bit of that whiplash effect from this huge tsunami of etheric love and light coming to ourselves from ourselves ultimately. You'll be too caught up in the wonder of perfection, realizing how deeply loved you are and how unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your purpose. This is what they were talking about earlier. You're not meant to look like anyone else. You don't have to do it that way. If that way that you're being taught doesn't feel in congruence or alignment, let it go. Time to really show up and do it your way, right? With amazing support from inside, that inner tech transfer. You'll be surrendered in passionate embrace with life simply being your exquisite, crazy, unique self, saturated with divine love. You'll water the earth with love's oceanic presence. Oh, how that tsunami will deliver you into your divine destiny. Your destiny awaits you now. So what a beautiful, beautiful card for the first episode here. It's 11:22 my time. Of course it is. And let me now shift gears and tune in to all of you who are tuning in, whether live or for the replay, the recording, and who else is just here. There's just a general, I can hear all this celebration in the Starseed Collective, this feeling of like, we did it, we got to this point, right? We've reached critical mass. While it may not seem like it on the surface of the planet, right? What I can tell you right now, reading the field, is that critical mass in terms of a consciousness shift has been reached, both from, the humans on this planet, like in adult form, including starseeds, and the incoming star children, both in physical form already, and who are staged in the multidimensional creche, this incredible structure. One of my amazing peers and clients in Australia and I were guided to construct late last year. So the vibration has shifted. It is done. We have arrived. And now what I'm being told is very important for all of us to begin living that way, rather than seeing any sort of problems or issues with the world. We have critical mass to shift this planet into its positive co-creation right now. And right now, and right now, and right now. So I'm moving into a higher set of vibrational coordinates. Maybe you can feel that. I'm not gonna go too high. I don't wanna make everyone feel dizzy. There. And you might notice from the root chakra on up, how much lighter you feel. Every afternoon, after my calls and my work, I go out on the back deck here in the forest, and I receive my messages. And yesterday, there were these beautiful snowflakes just floating towards me. Often what I see when I close my eyes and connecting with my pineal gland is, it looks like I'm traveling through space. And that's what it looked like. It was replicating that effect. And the snowflakes had a message for me. The effects of gravity are not as strong on us because of our different density. And as we move into our crystalline light form and move and shift into higher vibrational coordinates like we just did, the effects of gravity and density are going to apply to us less and less. This is why some of you are already levitating. You don't have the same level of density. You're transcending density. Doesn't it make you feel good? And so I'm going to share something that I channeled yesterday. They are asking me to share this. I was up at 6 a.m. yesterday with this coming down in. This channeled material came in preparation for an Earth Day event that I'll be talking more about later this month. The self-development movement in the modern era is a reflection of humanity's directional shift in its evolutionary course, moving away from the worldview that you are separate toward a view that holds unity and interconnection at its core. You are moving in the direction of seeking inward for answers to seemingly external problems. This internal alchemy is a shift in the vibrational template of your being. The more harmonic, life-giving frequency of thought and emotion has a direct effect on your experience of the physical world by rearranging form itself. Many of you have direct experience of this. Now you are being called to self-organize into community and collaboration for amplified, sustained impact. The healing humanity seeks lies in the substrate of physical reality, in the vibrational field that underlies all form. This vibrational range of static motion is more complex than you currently imagine. It is not a simple back and forth, up and down, or even elliptical. It is a set of vibronic harmonics. These intricate patterns determine the life-giving or life-claiming nature of the form, from the health of the human body to the health of your rivers and oceans. While research into the benefits of sound healing are on the rise, humanity is a ways off from understanding the multidimensional aspects of this vibrational range, namely the higher dimensional templates of this vibronic harmonic and how they can reset or recalibrate the form's pattern in a way that appears remote, but is in fact directly informative. This ability to reset the vibrational patterns that underlie so much of your world's conflict and destruction is what can change entire regions in less than one generation. And it goes on. So what I'm being called to share right now is just an incredible thank you and gratitude to all those of you who've been on your awakening journey, some rather recently and rapidly, and some for quite a long time. And just to be able to reflect back to you from the higher selves of the human collective, thank you. Thank you for all of your self-development work, all of your healing work. We have reached critical mass. So a huge piece of your soul contract that you came for to shift the light quotient of the planet, mission accomplished. And now the work, the shift, the creations that can occur because of this foundational set shift, this will allow that to propel you forward, right? Like, you know, the cheesy dance move, right? Pulling you out on the dance floor. What is pulling your heart forward? That is what I'm being told by your higher selves to really encourage you all to do now. Okay. And before we wrap up here, oh my gosh, we just flew through 30 minutes. Wow. Yeah, we're not operating really in linear time here, are we? I'm just tuning in to see who else is watching, right? Who may want to come in and speak. Yeah, I'm just my own multidimensional field. It looks very much like that beautiful bright colored mama bear back there. Just wants to come in and wrap you all in a warm, powerful, activating, and encouraging embrace. Time to be fearless and come out of hibernation. Let's all do that together as spring moves forward here in the Northern Hemisphere. Wow, guys, I can't believe it's already time to close out. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in for this first episode of Becoming Multidimensional, going beyond conscious and becoming multidimensional. And of course, if this resonates for you, please do, like it, share it, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you happen to be on. And let's get this out far and wide. I can't tell you how many people I've had tell me, when I first came across your YouTube channel, I thought you were a little weird, if not outright crazy. And then they went through their own rapid awakening and circled back and said, wow, thank you. So as we all use our voices, step forward in service to ourselves and the human collective, we will no longer allow ourselves to remain contracted and out of sight, right? It's really time to bring it. Not to try to fix anything or save anyone, but really just to really bring our next full empowered expression forward. So let's have some fun. I will see you all in a couple of weeks. My daughter and I are headed to what is sure to be a very special event here this weekend in California. I might do a special broadcast a YouTube channel that's separate just about that. So wishing you all a wonderful rest of your day wherever you happen to be. Bye for now.